So if you don't shower for a couple of days, and you just use conditioner on the back, you won't get knots.
Bro, if I said these exact same things to you, you'd make fun of me relentlessly.
Well, yeah.
So I'm just like, oh, guys,
Is that camera on?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're all running?
Yeah, they've been running.
Oh, sweet. Perfect. All right, so what brings me here today is that you guys are in Sauce on the Side, correct?
Turn my phone
Yes.
off.
All right.
Yeah, I muted mine a little bit ago.
So, you guys dropped an album.
Yep.
What's it called?
Waffle Stomp.
Waffle Stomp.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, I just had some questions about it, just questions about you guys. So how does Sauce on the Side, well, where's the name come from? If you don't want to over-explain or keep things up to, but where's it come from?
So it comes from when, I think it was 2018, I believe it was. My sister, read this meme, because this was at a time when our old drummer, Tyler, we were just jamming and stuff like that, and when I was trying to figure out exactly, what to name the project. And we had a couple names floating around, but, it was nothing serious. And I just wanted to have a name really bad. She read this meme that featured that name, and then she went, "Oh, you can name it that." And then I thought about it for 20 seconds. I was like, "Oh yeah, we could." So I brought it to Tyler, and then that's how the name came. I don't even remember what the meme said.
I remember it was a suicide joke.
I don't even remember. Oh yeah, it was. Oh, I remember saving
something gonna commit sauce on the side.
Yeah, it's I remember the meme
it was the stupidest thing ever. But when you told me, me and Tyler and Ben were calling ourselves Sauce on the Side, I was like.
Yeah.
Pretty dope name. You should keep that one. That was
I like the name. It's honestly really cool.
Yeah. I remember what the meme said was. It was girl, what do you want to do, boy? And he was typing out what he had to say, but it just typed penis. And she went, "Oh my god, you're so weird. What the fuck's gonna happen?" or whatever. So she commits Sauce on the Side. Boy visits Griffin. It's I wanted to go to Penn Island, and then that was the meme.
It's the stupidest of origins.
Well, also,
that's a lot more complex than ours.
Yeah. So that was the meme. I saved it on my phone, but that was,
I like how I don't think I remember the meme, and then you list the entire
specific
exactly.
Well, because as soon as you brought it up, I thought it. I was like, oh shit, that's where it came from.
Rolling a boulder down a hill, it just tumbles and you're like, that's what happened.
So you mentioned that you had Tyler as a drummer. Was it just you, or you guys were all a friend group and then you became a band?
Yeah, definitely. So I knew Anthony since middle school.
Okay.
7th grade or 6th grade.
I knew of you in 6th grade. 7th grade we had classes together.
Yeah, so that was, I don't know what year that was, but I remember meeting Tyler freshman year of high school, and I was just getting into music, punk music and stuff like that, and as soon as he's like, "Oh, I drum," and I know of these pop punk bands, I'm like, "Oh, we should jam." So ever since August of 2017, we were jamming, just jamming, just to jam, and then we started writing. But yeah, I mean, it's just been a huge friend group thing, and that's what I always wanted the band to be.
And then you guys had Jake on bass for a little bit.
Yes, we did. So
Jake Kimberger from Volomori. And
okay.
Yeah, he was the first bassist for Float, which is Tempest now. I don't know if you...
Yeah, I know. Okay.
Yeah, we met him in 2018 through high school, and we met also his friend JT. His name's also Jake, but we call him JT. And we were doing stuff for a while, and then that didn't really work out. But it's been a huge friend group thing. And then after they left, I asked him, you always said you wanted to play bass. Here's my bass, you should learn. And then he learned the 4 songs.
He did.
Yeah, he
one
did.
Note, or what was it, 4 notes?
Yeah,
for which song?
Thanksgiving? Or?
Oh, it's 2 notes for Thanksgiving.
No, that video you guys made where you only know 4 notes.
Yeah.
I was actually...
You learned your 4 notes and you picked it up.
Yeah, exactly.
I started off as your Photoshop guy, because you asked me Photoshop things, you had Facebook Messenger videos that weren't linked together, so you just asked me to edit those together, and then I made the stupid, the worst Photoshops possible, and you're like, "Yo, that's cool. We'll use that for our band logo." And then you were like, "Hey, you said you wanted to learn the bass. As a Christmas gift, I'll give you my bass if you learn to play it and join my band." And I'm like, I mean, I can't say no to that. That's just too good of an offer.
Yeah.
I got nothing going on. I can't say no. So
how did you get involved?
I was in a band called Take One.
Yep.
And we were playing a show in New Jersey.
Okay.
Because whole other story, not about that. We're not going into that. Our guitarist is from New Jersey, so we were booking a show there. Mm-hmm. And we were getting various bands from New Hampshire to play in this show in New Jersey with another show that's also from New Jersey. It's kind of like a showcase thing. And we had just gotten this old band called It's Been Real, which is a old local band from New Hampshire that was a big part of me joining the scene, and also Cooper and Anthony getting into the scene here as well.
Yeah.
And when they joined, that made they got on the bill, basically. We were sharing that around. We were like, we're still looking for bands. And Cooper saw that It's Been Real was on it, and they had recently started playing shows. And they messaged me and was like, or he messaged me and was like, hey, can I play? And I was like, yeah, sure. And then he sent me a video, and I was like, okay, yeah, you guys are a band, and just to make sure that you're like real. And
yeah.
I remember I was like, I think I've seen him at It's Been Real shows, so that's probably how he found out. And then they're like, actually, no, I can't do it. Our drummer doesn't want to go to New Jersey. And I was like, well, I play drums, and I could probably figure these songs out.
Okay,
I can fill in for this date. So we practiced once, and then they came to New Jersey. I don't really remember. I remember the first thing that I ever heard them say to each other as I was walking out to get them from their car, I heard Cooper say to Anthony, Anthony, will you just shut the fuck up? And I remember being like, oh my god, what's going on? And then the second after, they're like, oh hey, what's going on? No, nice to meet you, I'm Cooper. I was like, hey. And you guys came in, and you had an all shirt on, and you had a Descendant shirt on, or vice versa. And I was like, dude, so that's a pretty big thing for us. That's like
half the bonding and just the t-shirts.
Yeah, because the band All specifically is like a very underground band from the 80s that not a lot of people know about.
Okay.
Yeah. And they still are one of them, but they were like my all-time favorite band. Like that's all I listened to. And that was the first person literally that I'd ever met who'd heard of them.
This fella right here?
Yeah. So I was like, oh my god, is that are you guys wearing Descendants and All merch? And then we talked about that and we jammed. So we played the show in New Jersey. I didn't hear from them for weeks. And they have their own, basically other circumstances happen. Tyler ends up leaving the band. Mm-hmm. I don't know about that though. So I get a call from him while I'm cleaning a pool. He's like, hey, our drummer quit. You want to fill in for this show? I was like, yeah, sure. And that was the whole conversation. So in take one, we at the time had a singer and a bassist and we had a show on the Saturday. And both the singer and the bassist decided we don't want to be in the band anymore, we quit. A couple days before the show. So that left us scrambling, and we basically was like, okay, well, I can sing and play drums, and Max can also sing with us, who's the other guy in the band who played guitar. But we don't have a bassist, though. And then I remembered, it clicked in my head, I was like, and I'd thought about it before, because I thought Cooper was a really cool guy, and I figured if he could play bass, he'd be the right type of guy to be in a band with. I was like, I bet if I say, I'll play drums in his band, if you play bass in my band, then we'll have a thing going on and it'll work out. So I called him, or I texted him, and I was like, hey, I explained the situation, I gave the proposition, and he's like, yeah, sure. And that's basically how I joined. But I did not know them at all. They were older than me, and I was 17, and I'd never hung out with their type of humor and their vibes. So I remember for a while.
From an outsider's perspective, it feels like it's a match made in heaven.
It is, but it took a while for me to.
It took a little bit to get there.
I needed to understand, because for a while I was like, oh, these guys hate me. They hate me, and then I realized oh wait, no. They don't. That's just it's the same thing.
Just making fun of you is our way of saying, hey, we're friends with you.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
No, he says friends.
It's strictly friends.
Slow it down.
Yeah.
It's all business here.
Alright, so you guys Take One and Sauce on the Side went on a tour last summer, correct?
Yes.
2 summers ago or last summer?
We did one last summer into fall, and then we did one
before
the winter before the pandemic.
How'd that go? Because this was before the album, right?
Yes, this was before the album. It went really well. We ran into a lot of really cool people, but also a lot of weird stuff happened when we were on that tour.
It was strange.
It was weird.
It was very strange. We ended up touring the studio that's owned by the drummer of All, who's my hero. I got to hold his snare drum. We got to put our sticker on the wall and talk to them about rates and if we could come back, and it was truly surreal because we just showed up. I read online that if you show up, they might give you a tour. So we just walked in and we're like, hey, Cooper went in first. He's like,
we're all sitting there
weird.
Is this the right? This doesn't feel right. Cooper's like, screw it, I'll open the door.
Yeah, it was funny. As soon as I opened the door, because there's no sign saying it's a studio. As soon as I opened the door, I see a bunch of gold records on the wall, and I looked at more and I went, this is the place.
And we go inside and we were talking to them, and it was crazy. We got to talk to a bunch of these incredible people. We got to hold the original reels.
Yeah,
that was reel cool. Of their albums that they made there.
Pommel? Yeah, it was
Pommel. And It was crazy, and then I met my girlfriend on that tour. She had booked the show that we played in Utah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and we talked, and then now
so
we're dating.
Wholesome. Everything's so wholesome.
Yeah,
That's why I wanted to interview it. It's so wholesome.
Yeah, I think I had the time of my life. It was super fun.
It was definitely better than the first tour we did on because we had more drivers.
Yeah, the first tour he was the only one with a license.
First tour you were
Yeah, so
really?
so I drove from we went the farthest to New Jersey, and I remember there was a couple times where everyone was asleep, and I'm in your dad's Kia, and I'm swerving kind of off the road. And
no. We were on a highway, or like a road with 2 lanes, and you were drifting off into the other lane. I'm like, are you good? You drifted in lanes? And you're like, yeah, no, I'm just going the other one. Afterwards, flipped on his blinker, moves over. And then I was like, Cooper, you were falling asleep, weren't you? You weren't shifting lanes. He's like, no, I was fine. And then 5 minutes later, I got him. He's like, yeah, no, I was falling asleep. Keep me awake. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll stay up. I need to keep you awake, dude.
Yeah, but then this tour, Anthony got his license, and then your dad was on the way there, so we switched. So
even driving back with just the two of us, it took us an extra day, but when one was driving...
Well, it took us an extra day because we were a day further, too.
That's true. And we made the back seat of the van, all 3 seats, we'd lay those down. We had a comforter from a hotel and some pillows. Yeah. So we made them the sleep area. So whenever Cooper was driving, I was sleeping. Whenever he was sleeping, I was the one driving. So it ended up working out pretty well.
I have my license now, but so there was a social security snafu. Basically, my numbers were wrong, so I couldn't get my license until I had waited out the period.
I remember you telling me that last time I saw you.
It was not cool. And then so I was just resident stay awake guy. So I would just sitting there.
Smack him in the back of the head.
Yeah. Because we had our buddy James with us because he played in Take One, and he's the worst. He was in a different car at one point, and him and the driver fell asleep and almost drifted off the road.
Well, that was in the first we were going down to New York.
And he always gives me a hard time because I'm like, yeah, I gotta stay away. He's like, you don't have to. Someone else could do it. I was like, you're not gonna do it.
Yeah.
So you guys toured without an album out. Sauce on the Side did, right? Take One's had music out for a while.
Yeah.
But you guys toured. How did that go?
That went very. We got a.
Was it weird or
it was weird.
We had the single.
We sold a lot of shirts.
We had
we had the single, but Rather Play Baseball.
Yeah, we had Rather Play Baseball and Anthony's Always Right, the B-side. We had those 2 out, so we at least had something when we were on tour. Be like, hey, this is what we have right now, but we're gonna be releasing an album.
And you didn't have the CDs yet, right?
No, we didn't.
Okay. But are those made or are they getting made?
This is in production right now.
Yeah.
Casey's behind the camera, everybody.
Hi, Casey.
Hi, Casey.
Flip it to yourself.
I can't flip it to
Stand
myself. This thing is so zoomed.
This is Casey. He owns Dove Call.
Yeah, he's great. We love Casey.
Yeah, we love you,
In
Casey.
the context of Sauce on the Side, he owns Dove Call. He's just a piece of shit.